Hey, everybody, welcome to today's episode. I am thrilled that you're here. Hey, we're going to continue our series. We're talking about the expert authority system. And sort of the last piece that I want to talk about for this system itself is for my offer stackers. I have been talking to time sellers, right? So you have been selling your time in whatever it is that you're doing as an expert business owner, services, projects, different things like that. So you or your team has been exchanging time for cash. So this episode is really going to be for my offer stackers. My offer stackers are those folks who believe that in order to grow and scale, you have to continuously be launching more and more offers. So you don't have an offer problem. It's not so much about how many offers you can create because you could get revenue from some of those offers, right? You come up with something, some cool new something or other, and you put it out there and your customers buy it. And you get a little bit of a cash infusion. Um, and then something else comes up and you create something else and you get another little cash infusion and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So offer stacking tends to be like that where you're like, "Ooh, I have a new idea," or "Oh, there's something new in the market," or "This would be a really great thing to give to my customers," or blah blah blah, right? Like whatever you can dream up. Typically what happens is you're trying to come up with new and exciting things to get cash infusion into your business, which is a temporary solution, quite honestly, for growing your business. It's not actually exponentially going to grow your business. And so what happens is a couple different things. The first thing is your customers start to get a little confused, right? So they're like, "Okay, yeah, I want to buy that or I want to buy that or I want to buy that." And they're kind of usually they're smaller ticket items. And so either your customers get tired because they keep buying lots of different things and some of them are connected and some of them aren't. And so while they probably think they're great, what happens is they get fatigued by buying all these random things. And so eventually they're not going to continue buying each of those offers that you're throwing out there, or they're just going to get distracted by all the different things. The second thing is that when you're trying to establish authority in the market and you're just putting out whatever new offer you can think of because you love to create things, it does create confusion in terms of what your expertise is and what your authority is. And you don't actually get to be known for the actual methodology or the actual thing that is your thing in your business. And then third, quite honestly, it's not actually going to produce the revenue that you want to produce, right? You'll feel productive and you'll feel like you're getting, some money in to pay your bills or whatever it is that you need to do. But quite honestly, in most cases, it's a distraction, right? You get $1,000 here, $500 here, $200 here, maybe $5,000 here, but none of it's compounding together, right? It's everything is requiring a new launch or a new offer or whatever else. And so you're just finding yourself constantly chasing new things because you're not getting the revenue in that allows you to just grow your business in a way that starts to have it compound. So if you're in this offer stacker mode and you're struggling because you're just like, I don't know, I don't have my thing yet, or I feel like I constantly have to be feeding new offers out there. One of the challenges I'll give you kind of in changing your mindset is that really, once you can package your expertise into a signature pathway, a signature kind of experience, however you want to call it, that becomes your sort of flagship offer. That becomes the offer that doesn't change. It is the one that you ultimately want everyone to filter into at the end of the day. So that could be anything, like whatever it is that you want to create in terms of that experience. I will tell you that in the Scalable Expert Society and the Scalable Expert Mentorship, we spend a lot of time defining what your signature pathway is and that experience that you're creating around it. So you're creating that consistent customer journey. We talked about that in a different podcast. But the goal is to create a consistent journey that you can just continuously be putting customers in that doesn't change, right? So once you package your expertise, into a methodology and you create that journey, then you can just put customers in, you give them an amazing experience, see that they're getting consistent results. That is the foundational and core experience that you want to create in your business. That is the foundation of your business. Then what's going to happen is as you are out in the market, there are a number of things that you need to do to get people to know, like, and trust you, right? Like, we're in a huge trust recession right now, which means that when you show up, there are probably multiple ways that people want to consume what you have to offer so that they start to know, like, and trust you, right? When they see you have a methodology, when you have a couple of sort of lower ticket offers that you have out there, then the goal isn't to just stack a bunch of offers. The goal is to put something out there that naturally brings your ideal customer in to your signature experience. So a lot of times there's sort of like this, you know, it, there's lots of different ways that people call it, but basically like a foot in the door offer, right? So somebody comes in, they want to just taste what you have to offer, and then they come into your signature experiences. So a lot of times people will equate it to you get like a sample, right? Like you get a food sample or you get a perfume sample or whatever, right? People give you a sample so you can try it, and then you're like, oh, I really like this. And so then you buy the real thing. That is the goal of everything that you're creating to attract your ideal customer, right? And so any offers that you're creating go with that whole theme of you want to bring in and attract your ideal customer who naturally would go into your signature experience. And so all you're doing is creating a bridge from them not knowing you to going into your signature experience. So that's the goal. It's to build trust. It's not to build a bunch of offers that may or may not pay you some dollars, right? Like, yes, there's lots of different approaches for what that smaller piece of revenue ends up being as you move them into your signature offer, but ideally the goal is just to bridge that trust from them being a stranger to them coming into your signature experience. But you've got to have the signature experience. So often offer stackers have all the offers, but there's no signature experience that they're trying to drive people into. So that's the shift that I would say from an offer perspective. It's not just like, let's just do one more offer, let's just do one more launch. That's not actually building a sustainable and scalable business for you. You have to have that foundational piece of where you're driving them into. And once you can do that, then all the offers then all make sense because they're all leading to the one signature experience. When you can put it in your mind that way, it stops being overwhelming and it starts to just be again a stop on that prospect's journey. So when we look at the customer journey, you have the prospect, they're coming in, they're stopping in they're stopping in like a arrival stage, right? You want them to have a little bit of a taste, have a little bit of an experience and a sample of what you have to offer. And then they leapfrog into, yep, I trust that you have the solution to the problem that I have. And you are able to provide me the best path, the most perfect path to go from point A to point B. That's it. I mean, that's essentially the whole business right there. So you may have to create some little tasters and some samples in order to make that part of the journey happen, but that's where it fits. It's not just like, well, I'm just going to keep doing these random things in order to hopefully get some people in the door paying me money, because if they pay me, then they may buy something else in the future, which may or may not actually happen. So when you do this work, that's really where you're starting to shift your attention in order to be scalable. Because the scalable component of your business is your signature experience. It's not how you're bringing people in the door. What that allows us to do then is to then start focusing on that signature experience and building scalable delivery. because as you continue to build out this journey, and again, add in your 10, your 100, or your 1,000 customers, the scalable delivery becomes the next piece of the puzzle and the next system that we need to have in our business in order to continue to grow and scale. So, in the next podcast that we have, we're going to start diving into that second system, which is scalable delivery. All right, until next time.